How is everyone? Good. I'm so happy to be here. This is really an amazing opportunity for us to, especially those people in the industry, to mix and meet and get to know one another a little bit. This talk is going to maybe be a little bit of a departure from what you normally see at Quilt Market, but I think it's something that we should all be very aware of, right? Because at the end of the day, we really are in business. While we love what we do, at the same time, we need to make a living with it. So I wanted to kind of review just a few things of where I've been and how that can maybe help us build our business and our approach to business in a significant way. So before I was the quilting cowboy, I actually had two careers, right? So the first one, I was a performer, and then the second one, I was this guy. Right? A real estate businessman and coach. And that's what my background is in. So I have had an opportunity over the last many years to take a little peek behind the industry of the quilt world. Right? So I'm going to give you an opportunity to take a peek behind the curtain of the real estate coaching and business coaching world, because that's really where I come from. So in real estate, just to kind of give you a background of where I come from, I was licensed originally in 2003, October 2003 to be specific. In my first year in real estate, I made $250,000. I don't tell you that to impress you, although I don't mind if you are, but I tell you that because I figured something out. There were a lot of people who were licensed at the same time as me, because I was licensed in Las Vegas, 2003. That was right before the boom. Remember? All the high-rise towers, and Vegas was on fire, and you remember that? Yeah, I was a part of that. You know, and it wasn't all great, but it was pretty good for me financially. So the first year I was in business, I figured out one thing and one thing only, that there was a difference between marketing and prospecting. Right? We're going to come back to that in a little bit, but that was the first thing I figured out. My second year of real estate, I made $500,000. Woo! Right? And again, the second year, I figured out one thing. So on top of knowing the difference between marketing and prospecting, right, the thing I figured out was how to put things into place in terms of processes, right? In terms of way to do things, often which are automated. And those things are very much available to you to automate your systems and processes, okay? So that was the thing I learned in my second year. My third year, I made $750,000. Now, most of it went back into my company because I started my own brokerage firm. And so, but still, for a couple of years there, that's kind of where I was ticking along. And in the third year, I realized that leverage was the key to my success. So the first one was difference between marketing and prospecting. Second is systems and processes. Third is leverage. Leverage through people, right? There's only so many hours in the day. There's only so much I can do, so we leverage others to our benefit. All right, I'm sure you remember what happened after that. Right? I barely left Las Vegas with a shirt on my back. Everything imploded. I lost my company, right? I lost pretty much everything. In 2009, I was like, screw this. This is way too stressful. I'm like, I'm going back to do something that I really love and care about. So I enrolled in graphic design school. Right? I figured it would help my real estate business. I could do my own flyers, I could do my own videos, whatever it was. But it also really helped me with my quilting, which I've been done for years. Right? I started quilting in 1999. Right? So I'd already been doing it for a long time at this point. And so in 2011, after I graduated from graphic design school, I moved to Los Angeles and started up my real estate career again, get that going. 2012 to 2015, I was the director of education for Keller Williams, overseeing 450 agents and being responsible for their personal education, as well as having my own business, and I was fourth in production in that office out of 450. So that was a very busy time for me. 2016, I was hired by a prefab housing company to oversee their sales. All right, so that was kind of my career, where I come from. But then, 2019, I kind of quit real estate. So this year I was like, while it makes me good money, it really also makes me miserable, right? You know, and I was like, I wanted to have a life where I could be happy. Here we go. Happy, right? Thanks. Right? So I was like, okay, I want to have a life that I'm in control of, and that's my husband, that you met him on the way. and our dogs. Well, minus one. Tanner's not there, but I wanted to have a life by design. So I want to take the best of both of my careers, right? Performing and business coaching, and see what I could do in order to bring them into one life that was not only financially rewarding, but also rewarding in terms of what was on my heart, right? And what a beautiful place that is. If you can combine those two things together, then you really have a life by your own design because it's in your control. All right, so what skills translate, right, to build a better business? Well, are there any shop owners here? Yay, shop owners. I'm so glad that you guys are here because you're the ones I want to talk to specifically, right? But then also designers, right? And then also manufacturers. Yay! Right? So there's a lot of different ways that you can make money in this industry. And so I wanted to bring the attention to, like, are you in this for business? It's the same mentality of why those back and sew places just go on and on and on forever, and quilt shops kind of come and go. Ever notice that? Because nobody goes in to open a sew and vac store for the fun of it. Nobody loves vacuums that much. Right? They go into it to make money. That is their primary focus. That is their only focus. You walk in there, and it's like cobwebs, and like the flooring has been down for 20 years, and you're like, damn, but, you know, I want that Bernina, you know? So that's why those businesses stay in business longer often than quilt shops, is because they are, from the onset, built to make money. It's not a passion project. It is a business, right? So this is your life. Here you are, fork in the road. For you, is this a hobby? Or is it a business? Awesome. And it should be. We all have families and loved ones that are depending on us. This is very serious, okay? So you need to take this part of your business seriously. So why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you in this? Right? Hopefully, it's like me to bring your passion and your business life together as one. I'm hoping, right? I mean, I think that's why most of us are here. So, moving forward from there, most common business mistakes that I've seen in my coaching business. Now, there are do's and don'ts, but you have to be aware. You don't have to be in the minutia of your business all the time, but you do have to be aware of the things and how they're functioning, right? Like, you don't have to know the accounting per se, but you have to know at a high level, right, what your business is doing. So, common mistakes. Are you as passionate about the business end of your business as you are about the fun part? Right? I see it all the time. People come into real estate, they want to make all this money, blah, blah, blah. Cool. And they just want to make marketing videos and whatever. But at some point, you got to pick up the phone and ask for some business. At some point, you need to go around and meet some people and ask for some business. Right? They just want to do the fun, sexy stuff. They don't want to do the hard, you know, like laborious stuff. Okay, so if you do have a business in this industry, do you have a written plan with goals and objectives? It has to be written. If you are trying to get somewhere and you're not writing it down, you will never get there. Why? Because when you put something out to the universe of, I want this to happen, and it's just in your head, you never actually bring it into the physical. It's always just on the higher level ether plane of your brain. It's never brought into this actual world, right? So that's the first step. Write it down. Get clear. Share it with someone else. Do you have a marketing plan? Do you understand the difference between marketing and prospecting? We'll talk about that later. Do you have a market analysis? Do you understand your market? Do you understand the people in which you're competing against? Do you understand where you're going? Do you have an executive summary? And do you have a 1, 3, and 5 year plan? All right. So, as CEO of You Incorporated, you must have a high level of understanding of all the pillars of your business that makes it run. You have to have a high level understanding of that. That's why in the beginning, when it's just you, right, you're doing all those things, while it might kind of be difficult and you may not fully understand everything, it's good for you, right? You got to get your feet wet there so that you can move on, and as you move on past those items and are farming those out, you still understand how they're running. Okay, be able to perform the function until you're able to leverage others. We just kind of covered that. Be the visionary. Start your business every single day with a moment for you to understand where you are in your business and where you're going. Right? Get really clear each and every day. Then know what you don't know. This is really important. What do you not know? It's fine if you don't know it, but you need to know that you don't know it. And you need to get clear with somebody else and ask for help. Right? Attend mastermind classes, right? Or other coaching experiences like this, where we all, as similar business owners in the same industry, can share ideas. Okay. And then discover and implement promotions like this Fat Quarter birthday giveaway. I tell you, I would actually probably just drop dead if a quilt shop called me up and said, hey, it's your birthday. Why don't you come in and get a free Fat Quarter? Now, am I going to go get that free Fat Quarter? Yeah. Am I going to buy some other stuff while I'm there? Oh, hell yes. And why is that? Well, because it's my birthday and I'm celebrating. Right? So that's just one idea that in a mastermind class environment, we can share ideas to build your business. And that starts to get us to talk about the other thing, which is prospecting, right? And we'll talk about that in a second. Creating accountability. Understanding your goals, understanding your where you're headed, and then creating accountability to make sure that you're doing the things to get there. A good business coach can help you with that. Know your one thing. What is the one thing that you're doing in your business on a daily basis? If it all gets distilled, just one thing. What is the one thing that you're doing that you need to focus on every single day? It's probably sales, right? Or understanding your business of how you get to those sales, right? Because that's where the money's happening. That's where the transactions are happening, right? So what is your one thing? If you were to look at everything in your business and say, what is the one most important thing that I do in this industry to make this work? Right? What's the one thing, if you had to break it down to just one thing? And each person in your kind of org chart should have one key thing that they do. All right, so know your one thing. Forecasting, looking forward. This is awesome. I love this because I'm a numbers nerd. Right? Start with your year goal. What is your year? You want to make $120,000 just for easy math? $120,000 means you need to make $10,000 a month. Right? Then you break that down into a monthly goal, a daily goal, to understand what you need to do each and every day in order for you to hit your macro goal. Right? You just chunk it up, break it down. All right. Tracking and accountability, again, we talked about that. So this is your one thing. That's how you arrive at your one thing, is understanding your macro goal, break it down, and then understand what your one thing is each and every day. So there's a 7-level business model that I just want to share with you really quickly so that you can kind of expand your horizon of what is maybe possible for you in business. So when you first start, it's just you, right? And we talked about it, and it's good for you to know each and every aspect of your business, but this is where you start from. Next, you're going to be hiring an admin of some type, right? And then next, you're going to be overseeing a bookkeeper and an office manager. Next, you'll hire a web promotions and events coordinator. And then the next level, level 5, this is a big one. Your admins get assistants. Ooh, right? Now we're getting to really big business. Then your next level is a U with a U in training. Everyone get that? Your business, but you're training somebody else to be you. And then finally, you step out of your business and your business keeps functioning and paying you money. And you're not doing anything. You're exploring new goals, new opportunities. So you're able to step out of your business and it still functions. That's the 7th level. And everyone, at least that I know, is trying to get to that 7th level where they're just making money in their sleep. They don't even have to show up. They don't even have to call in sick. They own the business. Just send me the checks. So, to get there, we need to do a new thing, right? Where might the opportunity be? So, your reticulated activating system, this is a cool thing in business that we train people to do, in that, you know how when you buy a new car, you start seeing that car everywhere? Have you ever noticed that? Or there's something that's on top of mind and you start seeing it in places, right? It's your subconscious, you've trained it as, basically, you told it that this thing is important to me, and then you start seeing it everywhere. But what if you could train your brain to look for business, success, opportunity, and sales rather than blue VW bugs? It's totally possible, right? And then marketing versus prospecting. Okay, so like we talked about, marketing is a passive opportunity and event. Prospecting is active. Let's look at it this way. While you're here, what if you just hand out your business cards left and right? Right? That's passive marketing. You're throwing something out there and hoping it's going to come back. It probably won't. Right? Prospecting is an active daily event that you do in order to generate more business. It's picking up the phone, it's calling people, it's emailing people, it's sending out birthday cards, it's calling them and saying, happy birthday, come get your free back order. Right? That's prospecting. Prospecting leads to real money. It's like I tell my coaching clients, if it costs money, it does not work. If it costs money, it does not work. Because what you're going to do is you're going to hopefully throw out some money, do some advertising, and hope something comes back. But how much does it cost you to pick up the phone and call your entire database? Hopefully you have one. All of your clients, prospects, customers, whomever, should be in a database somewhere so you know who they are. And you need to be farming them for business in the future. So that's the difference between marketing and prospecting. That was the first thing I figured out in real estate. Did I spend my money on ads and whatever and hoping to get clients? No. I was out door knocking, and I was out picking up the phone, and I was very, very busy getting in front of people on a daily basis. I wasn't waiting for them to come to me. All right? Share success, mastermind group, just like we're doing here. When opportunity knocks, when you hear it, oh my gosh, this industry, woo! There are some opportunities, I tell you, that people are missing. Like, when I walk into a quilt shop, do you see opportunity or no? Because a lot of times I'll walk in and they're like, okay, excuse me, nice to see you. Are you waiting for your wife? And I'm like, ma'am, there are so many things wrong with that sentence. I won't even begin. But that's what I want to say. But what I actually say is, no, I'm just, looking, maybe you have some wovens. I was looking to maybe do a trapunto kind of project. What is your best approach to doing trapunto? And she's like, what? I'm like, well, where are your wovens? And she's like, what? And I'm like, so I have to ask her those type of very technical questions about quilting until she cries. That's what I come, that's like just unbelievable to me. Anyhow, so, when opportunity knocks, will you see it? Right? So it's really training your brain to look for those opportunities wherever you are and know an opportunity when you see it. And don't just glaze over. Will you embrace the new and or different? New and or different. Right? When I walk into your quilt shop, do you see opportunity? Do you see some guy waiting for his wife? All right? So speaking of embracing new markets, yes, this is where it gets good. Men, we're part of your community. We're here. Look, we're all in this class. We're having fun. Now, I'm not saying that there's enough of us to develop, say, personal products for, because we're a very small niche of this market. But what I am saying is that every single one of you in here, if you're a quilter, has probably made a quilt for a man. How are you serving that industry? Well, I'm here to tell you I got something figured out. Right? Quilts for men. We all do it, right? And what if you could get each one of your customers to make one new quilt because you brought this idea to them? Woo! Each customer, one new quilt. Hey, now we're talking about something. High design quilt fabrics for men. Did you ever think there would be such a thing? Because I tell you, after 20 years in this business, walking into fabric shop where I want to just kill myself if I see one more kitten, or puppy, or hearts, or flowers, or whatever. So I walk in there and all the fabrics are like, oh my God, it's like you take a confetti cannon and just shoot me in the eyeballs. I've been so frustrated for years and years and years not being able to have fabrics that I really think are cool, that are both high design and manly, right? So, the first design I came up with for my line of fabrics with Wyndham is paint. Because it really spoke to me as far as the crackle and patina of pottery that I love so much. Next, I kind of blew that up a little bit. I wanted more texture. I'm like, okay, so this one was called smudge. And then I added circles, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. But it's actually not circles. It's the negative space between circles. Right? And then I took those circles, I cut them in half, and I kind of did this repeat with them. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I love, love, love this. And then I wanted to do a plaid, right? Because we all relate to certain things in our lives, and it needs to be both high design but relatable. Relatable being that we have experienced in some way in the past. We all know what that is. All right, then I kind of reduced the information in the plaid to make this pattern called strike. And then I made this kind of herringbone line work, and then that translated into the actual pattern I call line work. Right? So how do men see things? Because men see things a little bit differently, right? Here's a great example here. It's also up on the screen, right? We're very geometric. We're simple, like we're cavemen, right? Right? We like things that we understand, which is certain shapes and colors. We don't like a lot of information being thrown at us at once. Now, I know I'm grossly over, generalizing, but you can see how, this is very, it's masculine. All these fabrics are from my line, by the way. And it's also really relatable in terms of, a circle. Okay, I understand that. And this is, so I think that this is a great design. Let me show you some others that, I put out a little competition for designers to see what they could do with my fabric line. This is another one. This is called, what's this one called? Pottery shards, right? This one I love, love, love. It really captures the spirit of my fabric line. And this one's called Lined Leah. This also is from my collection. Now, look how different this is, right, versus this. Because I really wanted to do this one to have kind of a celebration of the off-whites in my collection that just use those fabrics, because I think they're also really beautiful, and it's a counterbalance to the heavier tones. This one here, shifting perspectives, this is what guys do when they quilt, right? They see often things in a way that is very, actually can we move over here in front of the camera? Because I'm filming this. They often see things in a way that is graphic design inspired, right? With shapes and things like that, that I think is very cool. Anyways, so there's that one, thank you. And then finally this one that I did, which has the entire line of pottery in one quilt, with the exception of the off-whites. I wasn't able to get all of them in there as well, but it has all of the colors, and you can see how that goes together. This quilt is actually in my booth, so if you want to stop by and see that in person. There's also a pattern for it. I have all my patterns for sale as well downstairs. So, in summary, be in business, this is not a hobby. While it's hobby adjacent, right? We need to be mindful of the fact that we have dependents who are relying on us to care for them. And we do so by making money. Track your numbers, including marketing and prospecting. You should have enough information at your first year of business in order to look back and say what worked and what didn't. Right? And do you need to change your one thing? Oh, there's an idea. Prospecting requires a database. Do you know all your clients and customers? Could you call them all up? Could you all email them? And trust me, a phone call is worth 4 times as much as an email. Even if it's from your favorite fabric shop. How likely are people to answer an email, come and get your free fat quarter for your birthday, versus a phone call? Right? If it's an email, oh my gosh, how fast am I deleting them? Like, I'll maybe read the headline, maybe, but if I see who it's from and it's not on fire, sorry, I got other things to do, right? Call people, connect with them. You know, people think that we're in, you know, an industry of selling things. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. We're not. We're in the industry of relationship. And the more relationship you can have, right, the more business you will have. Be in the business of relationships. Be clear on your point of view. Why you? Why are you different? Who cares? Right? Be clear about that. Accountability, mastermind groups, coaching, we've all talked about this, and then train yourself to look for new business. Be a visionary. Leverage others. Always be on the lookout for your next hire. Even if it's just you. Right? Don't be afraid to grow. You should be looking towards the future of what does that look like, who is my next hire, and why. All right? Be different, be memorable, add value to people's lives. Be your brand, and be awesome. Right? Be awesome, and buy my fabrics and hire me to guest teach. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.